Victory address. Ladies and gentlemen, ShriKamalNath.
Mr. Farwat Ali, Madam Chikako Takase, Mr. Loya, Mr. Shingle, distinguished ministers, distinguished participants. It's a pleasure to be speaking at this valedictory session of Urban Mobility 2011. And this conference over the last few years has evolved and gained momentum and emerged as a preferred platform for exchange of knowledge and experience between professionals in the sector. The conference also provides an opportunity to recognize and appreciate the exemplary work which is being carried out by so many urban local bodies in India in the urban transport sector. The challenges of urbanization in India are unprecedented in scale and in significance. The magnitude of this challenge can be appreciated by the sheer numbers. The urban population, which has increased so phenomenally from 285 million in 2001 to 400 million this year, and in the next decade or the next decade and a half, is likely to go up to 600 million. And even the number of towns has gone up from 5,160 in 2001 to close to 8,000. It's 7,900 something, close to 8,000 in 2011. And studies are showing that India's rural population will peak in 2025 and thereafter start falling. As per the latest census, India has about 53 or 54 cities with a population of 1 million each. And it is estimated that again in the next decade and a half, or by 2030, India will have close to 70 cities with populations of more than 1 million, 13 cities with a population of 4 million, and 6 megacities, out of which Delhi and Mumbai will be the one of the largest cities in the world. Our vision is to create, to facilitate creation of an economically vibrant, inclusive, efficient, and sustainable urban habitats. To meet our vision, we need to have creative and innovative approaches to urban renewal and planning. We cannot deal, at least in India, we cannot deal with this explosive urban growth and its consequences within the conventional paradigm of planning. We have to really do some out-of-the-box thinking. And the most challenging impact of urban growth and rising income levels is the mobility crisis. Besides, India's young demographic profile makes Indians more mobile, thereby adding more momentum to urbanization and creating a greater mobility crisis. The age profile in India is so low, is very low, and as we all know, youngsters are very mobile. So this, over the years, has added additional pressure and additional momentum. We are seeing the growth in our small municipalities in percentage terms, in our medium municipalities in percentage terms, higher than the growth in our larger cities. So municipal corporations, the percentage growth, the numbers are more, but the percentage growth is much lower than in our smaller and medium-sized urban local bodies. This is because most of the youngsters, a large number of youngsters, are moving away from rural India, from their farms to urban centers, which are becoming the epicenter of economic activity. Now, for all this, there are huge financial requirements which are required, and based on our estimates, about $1.3 trillion will be required in the urban sectors in the next 20 years. And 60% of this is going to be required in the urban transport sectors. How do we meet this huge expenditure? Obviously, this cannot be met merely by budgetary resources. And we have to look at innovative financing mechanisms, which include PPPs, new models of PPP. When we look at the metros, we have to just not look at a phase or look at a route. We got to look at which can work on PPP. Initially, very little will work on PPP. We've seen that some of our PPP models are not working. But I think this is temporary. We have to look at innovative methods of PPP. We got to look at land monetization. We got to look at land monetization and higher FAR among the intensive transport corridors, the MRTS, at least in the metro rail transport section. Higher FAR so that urban transport can find money outside budgetary resources. I have been telling the Delhi Metro to look at almost 10,000 crores in land monetization, in development. And that has got to be looked at in all states and in all countries. How much can be financed outside budgetary resources? Because one of the big challenges for all our countries is going to be budgetary resources. And looking at land monetization, the 12th five-year, the approach paper to the 12th five-year plan looks at greater FAR, looks at land monetization, and that is going to be the direction in which we have to move to see that our land resources just don't remain idle resources. They're not merely idle resources, but resources which can be effectively used. And for this, we need to have very strong land economics. Because if we are going to look at land monetization to finance urban transport, we have to look at land economics. And land economics will then dictate what should be the most transparent and the most effective way of valuing FAR. So this has to be, over the next 5 years, one of the areas which require intensive and creative thinking. On account of rapid urbanization and sharp increase in the growth of personal vehicles, the decline in the public transport, as well as the non-motorized transport in the city, are getting highly congested. There are serious traffic jams, as we all know. There's a rapid deterioration of quality and increase in accidents. And as per a study conducted in 88 cities in India, the average speed of our arterial roads drops down to 6 to 9 kilometers. Now, this is a colossal waste, not only of energy, but also of time. And in order to deal with these emerging problems, the Government of India has approved the National Urban Transportation Policy in 2006, which focuses on the need to move people and not vehicles. Now, public transport is a very sustainable form of transport. It occupies less road space, it is cheaper, and emits lesser greenhouse gases per unit of travel. Government of India is going to encourage introduction of all types of proven public transport technologies which have been successful around the world. Whether it is rail-based MRTS, whether it is high-capacity bus systems on dedicated lanes, modern ITS-enabled low-flow and semi-low-flow buses for city transport, or any other form which is techno-economically viable. In India, we've taken up we've taken up metro rail projects in the cities of Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore and Chennai on an SPB model, on a 50-50 partnership of central and the concerned state government. In Mumbai and Hyderabad, they've been taken up on PPP with viability gap funding support from the Government of India. In the case of Jaipur, the stage one is being entirely financed by the state government. We are very proud of our metro because in Delhi, we're just launching the phase 3 for 103 kilometers at a cost of 35,242 crores, which will have about 67 stations. And this phase 3 project is the largest urban infrastructure project ever undertaken in the country. just this phase 3. On completion by March 2016, Delhi Metro will be carrying 40 lakh passengers per day. We've also decided to start the preparation work for the DPR for phase 4, which will be again 104 kilometers. And with the completion of phase 4 by about 2020 or 2021, Delhi Metro will have a network of 440 kilometers, which will surpass the London Underground. So that is the dimension and scale of what's going to happen in Delhi. Even with all the metro projects, the majority mode of transport will still continue to be buses, either as the main mode of public transport or as a feeder to the metro rail or commuter rail service. However, the quality as well as the availability of city bus transport in the city has been woefully short of the expectations as well as the need. Now, under our JNNURM, modern intelligent transport system enabled buses have been sanctioned for 61 mission cities, which has completely transformed the urban transport scene in India. This made a major impact, as is visible when we go to the 61 mission cities. Since rail-based MRTS is highly capital intensive, we have also taken up the BRTS projects in some states in the cities of Vijayawada, Visakhapatnam, Ahmedabad, Surat, Rajkot, Bhopal, Indore, Pune, and Jaipur. With the different types of public transport, metro buses, auto rickshaws, cycle rickshaws, public bikes, it is important for the cities to plan for multimodal integration. The National Common Mobility Card, which has just been launched, is an initiative to create a common protocol for the integration and collection as well as parking. I want to congratulate and commend Jaipur for being the first city to enter into this agreement and look forward to its successful operation next year. With this huge challenge of urbanization in India and across countries in Asia, the new era of transport reforms will have to go beyond infrastructure and will have to focus on service delivery. Having infrastructure is one thing. Having the service and the delivery of that service is extremely important. We need reliable, efficient public transport services that meet public expectations and also build confidence. This conference, Urban Mobility India, has been envisioned as a platform of focusing attention on the crucial and critical challenges and key opportunities in the urban sector in India, and also to disseminate the best practices from around the country and the world. This year, the collaboration with the Environmentally Sustainable Transport Forum has been very fruitful. The UMI has given exposure to best practices from around the world, and I'm especially pleased to see young probationers and the younger generations, whether they are from the IAS, IRS, or IPS and other services, who have participated here. Well, all of you, the youngsters, are the decision makers of tomorrow, and it is imperative that you learn about the massive changes which are taking place around the world, and also the massive changes which we have not adopted or adapted to in India, and apply our minds to see that this challenge is effectively met. Acknowledging excellence is the best way to encourage best practices. I want to congratulate all the award winners here today. They are to be commended for their outstanding achievements, which will become the role model for others to emulate. Indians are renowned the world over for their innovativeness and technical strength, and this together with an enabling policy framework, we look forward to usher in a new area of sustainable urban mobility. I congratulate all the organizers of this and all the participants to having made this conference a great success. Thank you very much.